the lightning-fast fall of France in 1940 still bewilders. Beyond the Panzer divisions, a deeper mystery lay in the skies. France, a nation boasting one of the largest air forces, simply ceased to exist as a fighting aerial power within weeks. But how did this formidable force so utterly collapse? The foundation of France's air power before the war was critically undermined by a largely defensive air doctrine, heavily influenced by the static trench warfare of World War I and the Maginot Line. This strategic outlook prioritized reconnaissance and limited air defense over developing robust offensive capabilities or integrated air-ground operations. Simultaneously, the 1930s were marked by persistent underinvestment, resulting in an aging aircraft fleet. France's fragmented aircraft production industry struggled to ramp up, failing to match the speed and scale of German rearmament. Further exacerbating the situation were bureaucratic inefficiencies and constant political instability, which collectively led to significant delays in both the procurement of modern aircraft and the vital modernization of existing units, creating substantial technological and numerical gaps that proved detrimental as war approached. The French Air Force suffered profound technological and material disadvantages. Its frontline fighters, like the Morane-Saulnier MS-406, were critically outclassed. These couldn't match the superior speed, climb, and armament of Germany's Messerschmitt Bf 109, immediately disadvantaging French pilots. French bombers, too, suffered, lacking modern protection and adequate payload. Adding to this predicament was a misleading perception of quantity. While France had a substantial nominal number of aircraft, many were obsolete in storage or unready. Even modern types often exhibited poor build quality and reliability issues, eroding operational effectiveness. Most critically, pervasive logistical and maintenance shortfalls crippled readiness. Severe shortages of essential spare parts, specialized tools, and adequate fuel infrastructure meant aircraft couldn't be maintained or repaired efficiently. This drastically reduced serviceable planes for deployment and hindered sustained operations under immense pressure, leaving French airmen severely hampered. Organizational hurdles significantly hampered the French Air Force's ability to operate effectively. A major issue was the distressing lack of centralized command and control. The Armée de l'Air suffered from poor integration with ground forces, meaning air assets often operated in isolation. This led to fragmented command structures, ineffective communication between air and ground units, and a critical absence of coordinated air support when it was desperately needed on the battlefields. Adding to this operational chaos was the rapid leadership turnover and persistent political interference. Frequent changes in Air Force command, often driven by political motives rather than strategic efficacy, prevented the development of consistent doctrines and long-term operational planning. Such instability at the top trickled down, undermining unit cohesion and strategic direction. Furthermore, the ineffective deployment and dispersal of air assets posed another challenge. Aircraft were often widely scattered across numerous small airfields, an attempt to prevent them from being wiped out on the ground. However, this strategy made concentrated action incredibly difficult and inadvertently left many units vulnerable to swift German surprise attacks, negating the very purpose of their dispersal. These command and organizational shortcomings undeniably contributed to the Air Force's struggle to mount a unified and effective resistance. The French Air Force's operational performance during the German invasion was unfortunately characterized by significant tactical blunders and widespread ineffectiveness. They grappled with a profound inability to counter the rapid, coordinated Blitzkrieg tactics. French air units struggled to disrupt the swift enemy armored thrusts, often failing to provide timely or effective close air support to their own retreating ground forces, leaving them vulnerable. This resulted in alarmingly high attrition rates for French aircraft, which suffered heavy losses due to superior German tactics, potent ground-based anti-aircraft fire, and a critical lack of early warning systems or coordinated defensive operations. Consequently, despite moments of individual bravery, the French Air Force remained largely reactive throughout the campaign. They were consistently unable to gain air superiority, nor could they inflict significant damage on vital German logistical lines or troop concentrations, highlighting a severe operational disconnect and contributing significantly to the rapid collapse of French resistance. Morale, training, and pilot experience ultimately became critical breaking points. The French Air Force suffered from severely eroded morale among both pilots and ground crews, a direct result of persistent numerical and technological disadvantages, relentless enemy pressure, and the swift collapse of the ground war. Witnessing their nation's rapid downfall, despite valiant individual efforts, fostered widespread disillusionment and a sense of futility. Compounding this was insufficient modern training. French programs were often outdated, failing to adequately prepare pilots for the realities of fast-paced, aggressive aerial combat against highly trained Luftwaffe crews, leaving them at a distinct disadvantage. Tragically, early and heavy combat losses quickly decimated the pool of experienced French pilots. This loss of seasoned airmen made it incredibly difficult to maintain combat effectiveness, provide crucial leadership, and pass on vital tactical knowledge, further weakening an already struggling force and hindering its ability to mount sustained resistance in the air. French air power failed in 1940 due to outdated doctrine, underinvestment, and organizational flaws despite its size. In your opinion, what overlooked lesson from this failure is most crucial for modern defense? Share your thoughts in the comments.